Hey, how's it going? We're going to talk about something real simple, and that is accents and dynamics in strumming. And I'm going to put a couple of strum patterns up on the screen so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. We're using some very, very basic strum patterns that are built out of a total of 8 down strums, or eight beats, 8 subdivisions of the beat. And we're going to talk about how you can take something that is simple like that and give it some life and accent. And so we're going to take those simple patterns and talk about how you can add dynamics. So dynamics is just a word that's used to describe kind of the rise and fall of not just volume but intensity as you play. You can play something with a lot of intensity and it doesn't necessarily have to be loud. You know, dynamics refer to the entire spectrum of, you know, all the way from piano, pianissimo to forte, fortissimo, if you're talking musical terms. And so we're going to take the first strum pattern and I'm going to kind of show you mechanically what's going on first. I'm going to mute the strings right here. So it's 4 beats, but we're subdividing, so we're counting 8th notes and some 16ths. So if I'm counting it out like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a... Okay, so all down strums except for the last and of beat 4, we're strumming down up. That's going to be the last 2 16th notes. Now if I just play that just, again, mechanically as it's written on the page, then what you get is... Okay, which is great. That's nice and even, but think of it, it's also kind of flatline. There's no rise and fall, there's no dynamic contrast in what you're playing. I can take the same strum pattern, and what I'm going to do, I'm kind of hesitant to use the word accent, because when I say accent, a lot of people think that means to strum harder on the accented beats. And really what we want to do is de-emphasize the beats that are not accented. So rather than just strum harder when there's an accent, that can easily become a train that's just going downhill, and it'll just run off and leave you. So we're going to de-emphasize the beats that don't have the accent. So those are the ones that are in between the and of the beat. So we're accenting beats 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're de-emphasizing the and of the beat. So when we do that, one way to do it is that I tend to kind of gravitate towards is on the accented beats, I strum full through. And then in between the de-accented beats, I may strum the top 3 or 4 strings. So you get this kind of... And just for illustration, I'm using one of these little jazz picks, and it's pretty thick, doesn't hardly bend at all, and so you don't have to use a super thin pick for rhythm, even though you can't. I mean, if I use a thinner pick. You know, that works too, and some people like that because it's got a little more flex to it. I just prefer the sound of these kind of thicker jazz 3 picks. It's a little bit richer tone. So you can definitely hear the difference between this and again where I just kind of ebb and flow between the accented beats and the ones that are de-emphasized. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and and you know, you can do that any tempo. I'm just kind of picking that one out of the air, but if I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4 and so see, I can play something that's pretty dynamic as far as musical dynamics without, I'm not having to strum hard. It's not abrasive or a strident sound. It's real easy to listen to. A good tip, I tell this oftentimes to my younger students, namely those that are like the ages of 10 to 14. I say, you need to strum like there's someone in the room trying to take a nap and you don't want to wake them up. So again, you're wanting to leave yourself a good ceiling above to grow. If you start out strumming hard right out of the box, it doesn't give you anywhere to grow to. So now this second one, you can see we've added some up strums on the end of beat 2 and after beat 3. So we have some more 16th notes. And again, I'm going to play this very straight. So if we're counting like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same principles we used before and go through with some accent and de-emphasizing on those other beats. So I'm getting kind of tired of using the G chord, but we're just going to go with it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so it's cool, y'all can't see this, but this app I'm using, it's got the sound waves at the bottom, and you can actually see the difference in dynamics in the sound waves. So whereas before everything was just dot 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 dot, this one's got some ebb and flow. So those are two really common strum patterns, and I'll just play a little bit something using both of them to kind of give you an idea. So this is the first one again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that second one. 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's a little just kind of lesson on strumming and dynamics, and you can use this in any kind of strum pattern, and hopefully that'll help you. So if you have any questions or want me to do anything else or look at a different type of strum pattern, then just let me know, leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to it. So thanks, have a great day.